This is part 3 of our Ford 9N hydraulic pump. We took the pump out and we have rebuilt the pump. We have put new gaskets in it, cleaned all the valves, put it back together, and now I've cleaned the transmission sump and we're going to put the pump back in. This is our hydraulic pump out of the 9N. It has been disassembled and cleaned and put back together with new gaskets. Now, the flange gasket for the cover plate where it bolts up to the bottom of the transmission housing, it is important to prepare this gasket, this hole right here, where it goes around the pump supply pressure port. This is a bolt hole and this is a bolt hole. That's pressure oil. So we use a gasket maker around the hole on both sides of the new gasket, because these have a tendency to blow out and deteriorate and leak internally or externally that pressure oil for the lift. And so we want a good bond. We're going to use some high temp, not that high temp really matters too much here, but that's what I had laying around. We're going to put some high temp gasket maker on both sides. It's a RTV silicone, and set that up. We'll get this thing ready to put back in. Run the draft control, you can see the fork stroke right there, and down in there where that spring is, that is the spool. We got to connect the T-rod, whatever they call it, back onto the fork. So I'm going to do that now. You can see the PTO shaft coming from back there. It goes through the pump and it drives from up here post clutch. So the clutch is up there right after the engine. You got the Sherman transmission gearbox. Then you've got the regular transmission, and that PTO shaft runs right there through the middle. Now, the valve and the valve fork, you can see now that the valve strokes. You see it in there, stroke? That didn't used to happen. Now that was why the lift would only go up. It was stuck in the lift position. Now, side cover, other side cover. We'll have to go down here and secure the drain plug, and we can fill it back up with oil. wanted to mention the oil that we're putting in the transmission is a 90 weight mineral oil, and I bought this oil from my local Tractor Supply. It's important to use a 90 weight oil that's not a blend. The current 80-90 type oils, gear oil, is what they call GL5. Sometimes you'll see a GL4 or 3. It's really hard to find a GL1, but what that means is every time they advance the oil and they change the blend, they put additives in the oil, and this transmission can't handle those additives. Transmissions today don't have the type of brass bushings and things that this transmission and pump have in it, and so if we put a regular oil in it that they sell for today's transmissions in gearboxes, the additives have the ability to eat the brass and to etch the brass that those bushings are made out of, and we don't want that to happen. So I went ahead and get the Tractor Supply Traveler brand Ford Tractor Transmission Fluid, and that's a 90 weight mineral oil that is basically made for these old Ford tractors. While we're waiting for the drain plugs to set up and just give them a little bit of time, I'm going to go ahead and change the battery. This battery is bad. It's been sitting for a while, and it's not going to recover. I've tried to recover it with a slow charger, and it's not going to work out. So I'm going to go ahead and change this battery, and then we'll fill the transmission up with oil. So the hold down clamp sets down, it's got J hooks that hook down in the battery tray, and then wing nut goes on there. The oil fill for the transmission is actually up here by the shifter. I just put it in the inspection cover so I could see how fast the oil was going in and how fast it was transferring. This is how we'll top it off. Funnel in there. The book calls for 5 gallons on this, so I bought 6 gallons. So to get a final fill check on this, I'm gonna have to raise the lift arms up. So we'll go ahead and start the tractor, test the hydraulic system, make sure that our repair worked, and then I'll be able to top off the transmission case oil when the arms are all the way up. we've got the tractor operational. Now we can use it. Still need some maintenance items done. A couple lug nuts replaced, and engine oil needs to be changed. But as far as I'm concerned, I can use it now for small tasks around here. Probably going to hitch the bush hog up to it and test it out, make sure the fitment is all good and the shaft and everything's right. So far we have redone the points and condenser and the distributor, replaced the water pump, replaced the starter, replaced the battery, added the resistor block for the ignition system, and we went ahead and fixed the draft control lever inside the lift, and taken the pump out and fixed the valves that were stuck in the pump. Along with that, replaced several of the gaskets. I really appreciate you watching my videos. I really appreciate you watching the videos about this 1941 Ford 9N tractor. Thank you for staying with me. It's been a long time, big project, and I'm really excited about it. So, and if you don't mind, please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and that way you'll get updates about future videos. Thanks for watching.